Hi, welcome to the bathtub, where when you hear this iconic theme music, and we stop it really quick because we don't want to be sued by Peabody and Sherman, and also at 10 cents to get the pets extremely hyperactive. It kind of drives it. Dota's very excited. She loves Peabody. She loves Fractured Fairy Tales and Peabody and Sherman. And who doesn't? Anyway, this is what we call Pointless Adventures in Literature. It's one of the theme shows where we tell you pointless anecdotes about my life as a writer and a reader in the bathtub. And these anecdotes are guaranteed to be either pointless or meaningless. Sometimes they're pointless and meaningless, but they're always pointless, meaningless, or both. And we promise you it's the only thing you can bank on here at the bathtub. We actually keep our word on that. Everything else is a lie. Everything else in the show is it's an illusion. It's a complete illusion of competence. And it's not even a good one. So anyway, this is I've got my pixelated water. We added a color to it this time. No alcohol was harmed or carbohydrates were harmed in the production of that prop. I'm telling you, these are little stories I tell that are just pointless. And this episode is brought to you, as we told you before, by 3 paragraphs in the life of Bob Johnson. If it's not 3 paragraphs, it's not Bob Johnson. I'm gonna post a link so you can catch up on all the hot Bob Johnson action. He's a 3-paragraph creature of habit who has no good habits. A creature of bad habits. The story. This is a few things. First of all, the last episode I just filmed like 10 minutes ago, and Lucky was acting really crazy. We've been away for 4 days, so Lucky had to spend 3 days with our babysitter. We have a special babysitter who actually she actually likes Lucky. She actually really likes him. She's very fond of him, and she can deal with the crazy psychopathic behavior of our dog. And so she had 2 or 3 days with this lovely girl, and then one day at the kennel, where she wouldn't eat anything until she comes home, and then she was a real pain in the neck. But I have to say, she's a really difficult. She's gone now. She's left. So she was here trying to get into the show, which I can't do because I have to board off. I've told you this. I have to board the place off. We have to build barriers between Lucky and us, and we have to when we pet her, she has to know that she can't take over that space, or else she'll take it over and try to attack us. So anyway, Lucky has almost no good qualities at all. We love her, but she has almost none. The one quality she has is she is incredibly good about not peeing and pooing in the house. It's the one thing she always is good about. Anyway, she was whining all day, acting crazy. I thought she was hungry, and I rarely take her out until she's really ready because she doesn't want to go outside. She's scared of everything. So anyway, after I filmed the last one, she came up and she was all anxious. I asked her if she wanted to go out, and she wanted to go out. I could pick up the leash. She didn't try to attack me. She went out. She had diarrhea from the stress of the three days without her normal schedule. Cheers. And I gotta say, I just loved it. I just couldn't help saying, "Oh, what a good dog." She did a very good job today. So, and she hasn't. And I'm not bleeding. Lucy and I are not bleeding from any part of our bodies. This is a very short one. First of all, we're getting ready, as we mentioned, for the Thomas Pynchon's new novels coming out in October. I think we're actually going to review it fairly close to the beginning. We don't normally do that with new books, but for various reasons, we're going to be beyond that one, I think. And I wanted to tell a little anecdote. Now, first of all, there's 2 things. First of all, I'm going to tell this anecdote about Thomas Pynchon and our very close personal relationship. I thought we might have someone come into the door. Thomas Pynchon, I call him Tom, as some of the people who are most upset with me write notes. First of all, this is something. By the way, all our bathing buddies are great. Everybody who writes us on this show are great. We have nothing but affection and fondness and respect for all the people, even when we don't agree with them and they disagree with them. And unless they send us weird photos or they start telling us what jerks we are because our show is idiotic, that's really there's nothing we can do about it. Then everyone we like. We only have like 2 groups of people who really just kind of get tiresome, and they always are fans of either Vladimir Nabokov. Yes, Donna, I hear you. I'm gonna let Donna out again. Or Thomas Pynchon. Whenever I do a show I talk for 10 minutes about Thomas Pynchon or Nabokov, I get a lot of people check it out. I get, 200 or 300 people check out The Great William Trevor. But if I do a Thomas Pynchon, list of Thomas Pynchon, I get thousands of people checking in and complaining about what a jerk I am because I don't like Gravity's Rainbow. Okay, Dada. Come on, you can come out. And anyway, I don't care if you like. I love all our bathing buddies, whether they like the books I like or don't. Come on. Can you get out? Come on. Dada's been molting and she's looking really good. She's looking pretty fine. Huh, Dada, you're looking fine. And they write me letters about what a jerk I am because I don't like this or I didn't like that. I didn't like V and I don't like V and I don't like Gravity's Rainbow. Anyway, nothing but affection. But there's always at least these people. I get 4 or 5 notes from some idiot talking about how Tom wouldn't like what they like and how they really appreciate Tom's books, but I'm an idiot because and those are exactly the sort of people I go to the bathtub to get away from. I got to tell you, I go to the bathtub to get away from the newspaper and idiots who think they know everything about Thomas Pynchon. Anyway, that's the end of that. The other thing, and this is kind of I feel guilty about this. Because I got all these people check out my pointless show because I talk about Thomas Pynchon. I mean, I could really pretty much do just say the word Thomas Pynchon. I'd probably get 5,000 people would hit this stupid show. But so I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do this pointless anecdote just to get people to watch this show. And it is a pointless anecdote. And it's an anecdote about my close personal relationship with Thomas Pynchon. Okay. So anyway, 3 or 4 years ago, I tried to read Mason and Dixon at Christmas. And I did a 10 or 15 minute just joke comment. It was supposed to be funny. I used to have a bar lounger here. And that Christmas, it was like the first Christmas of COVID. I'm almost certain it was the first Christmas. It was the year after COVID started, and it was Christmas, and we were Christmasing at home and caroling at home and all that stuff. And I was going to read this book, and we got our lucky puppy who, before she was crazy, I do think what drove her crazy was we had to give her injections for a while. That made her a little crazy. Before she was crazy, she was still a really difficult dog. And she was constantly snapping at us and she was just very hyper, and then she'd crash. Anyway, I had this Barca lounger, and I would lie back and read. And I loved reading in that Barca lounger. I really missed that chair. But when we got Lucky, every time I leaned back at that Barca lounger, Lucky would come running in. She could be like 2 blocks away. She'd come running up the stairs and jump onto the Barca lounger and just want to wrestle, right? It's kind of a fun. It's the video. I showed her do that. And I just basically said, I can't read Mason and Dixon. Now, I have other problems with Mason and Dixon's, but they may well be me. I'm perfectly willing to accept it. I just don't have the patience, and I do want to try it again. Having said that, I did this stupid show, and I talked about Mason and Dixon, and we have a lot of readers, a lot of bathing buddies who don't have this cool T-shirt, by the way. We're all master bathers. We're all equal in the eyes of the master bathing universe, but only I have the T-shirt. So I did this stupid show, and a few months later, I got lots of people were writing, and basically great. They were just why they loved it and why they hadn't been able to read it, and they had a dog like mine and so forth. Most of the people were just really nice. Eventually, I got this note. I looked on the, I was getting lots of people writing notes to me about Pynchon. And I try to write back to everybody, except idiots who talk about how he and Tom don't appreciate my opinions about their books. When I get those idiots, I don't reply to them. But almost everybody else I reply to. Anyway, so I always check out whatever the new comments are. And this was about 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. I don't remember anymore. Okay, Dodo. And I got a note. I'll read it to you. I'd show it to you, but I don't know how to print it out so you can, as usual, I can't print it out so you can see it. It said, highlighted comment, and it said, Thomas Pynchon. And all of Thomas Pynchon said, can you see that? Was, thank you. Now, my first reaction was, it's some somebody making a joke. And it wasn't a bad joke, actually. I thought it was kind of fun. So I wrote back. I said, as a joke, anytime, Tom, I pretended like we were buddies, I'm assuming you can't catch coronavirus. So coronavirus must have been big then. If you wear a bag over your head. But then maybe everything I learned from The Simpsons isn't true. Stay safe, Scott. So it was a little joke about him being on The Simpsons. Okay, so that was, and I got, someone liked it. I don't know who liked it. I don't remember if I checked. Anyway, this was three years ago or so. All right. So that may be my collected correspondence with Thomas Pynchon. That may be the end of it. Now, I thought it was a joke, and I put it on the website. I think I put it on my Facebook page or something. And a couple people on YouTube would pay attention to some of this stuff, wrote me and said, actually, Thomas Pynchon goes around, and whenever he finds somebody saying something nice about him on YouTube, he says thank you. It's really common for him to do that. And that does sound like something Thomas Pynchon would do. He sounds like a nice guy. He's always sounded like a nice guy, and he's not a curmudgeon as some people like to think. Anyway, I thought about that, and I did something I never do. I actually, you want to have something to eat? Come on. Come here. Say hi to Thomas Pynchon. Come here. Thomas is watching this. You can meet her. I did something I see this 3 years ago. I did what do you call it? Screenshot. I did a screenshot. And it took me like probably 10 minutes to figure out how to do a screenshot. So I did a screenshot of Thomas Pynchon's note to me. And I did it for a deliberate reason. I had this idea. I said, if it's Thomas Pynchon, I don't remember if I said this on the Facebook page or not. If it's really Thomas Pynchon, that message will disappear. It won't stay up on my YouTube page. So that was a joke. But I did believe that. If it really was him, he'd get rid of it. Anyway, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to that same space. I went to my talk on Lucky and Mason and Dixon, and the video, and all of the comments that were on there, all were still there, except this one. It's been erased from that page. So anyway, when that was erased, I decided that has to be Thomas Pynchon. It was him, and I've saved this. This is my collected. There you go. It's my collected. That's my collected personal relationship with Tom Pynchon, Tom or Thomas Pynchon, my buddy. There we go. Anyway, big fans of Thomas Pynchon, especially his later books. Even the books we don't like, we're still big fans of him. And anyway, this is that's my collected correspondence. I'm going to publish it for a library. There'll be a library edition of this, and for all the Pynchon heads out there. If you enjoyed this, great. If you think I'm a jerk, that's equally great. But just go share it with somebody else. Okay, stay safe. Happy bathing. We're all looking forward to Shadow Ticket. I'm sorry if I'm really not trying to milk attention for doing these Thomas Pynchons, but the only other thing I'll do is I'll do a talk about Shadow Ticket when it comes out. Otherwise, we're going to go to the bathtub with everything but Mason and Dixon, though maybe we'll try Christmas again this year. Maybe we will. Stay safe.